Hi everyone, how are you going on? Today is yet another day, and I welcome you to Verified Soul and to today's video. If you've not watched yesterday's video, it would be very important that you go and watch it. But today, I've been going through the analysis, that is the embassy performances and the region performances as a whole, and to observe how the cases have been going on. I want to say that I have been watching this for a long time, and I've seen some trends in terms of interview schedules and interviews attended. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the regions and we shall see the total number of interviews done, and we shall do something different today because we are going to compare the 2025 DV lottery to the 2024 DV lottery and to the 2023 DV lottery program. And by so doing, we can tell the position we are at. But before we begin, remember there is this disclaimer that historical data, especially when we come to DV lottery, sometimes does not obey the rules. In other words, what I'm saying, whatever happened in a particular year for the DV lottery might not recur in the next year. And by so saying, that means that you cannot rely on historical data that much. To some greater extent, it gives us the correct trend, but in some instances, it fails to give us the right information. Have you understood that? Like, for example, some embassies in this DV lottery might be failing, but when it comes to the next DV lottery, they excel. And that is what I mean. So we shall use the data and we shall see our position. Now, let's just go directly to this. We shall go step at a time. Later on, I'll handle some few embassies in various regions and we see how they are doing. And this information or data that I'm using is very recent. It is just a few days old, so it might be lagging behind by some few days, not more than a week, but some few days. So it is very current. So let's begin with Africa region. For Africa region, as of some few days ago, the total number of cases scheduled and ready cases is 6,464. That is for the DV Lottery 2025, 6,464. For the DV Lottery 2024, at the same time last year, 6,326 were the total number of cases, both scheduled and interviewed. That is for DV Lottery 2024. Take the difference. And then for the DV Lottery 2023, it was 5,120 interviewed plus ready cases as at the same time as today. So if you compare the three, you see that we are not badly off. For Asia, for DV Lottery 2025 at this time, it is 21,129. For the DV Lottery at the same time last year, it was 2,160. And for DV Lottery 2023 at the same time, it was 2,602. So from gauging, you can see there is an increase, though slight, but there is an increase. That means we are not badly off as the Asia region. And when you take the Europe region, EU, then for the DV Lottery 2025, it is 3,835. For DV Lottery 2024 at the same time last year, it was 4,065. And for the DV Lottery 2023, it was 4,076. So we can see some minor decline, but not that big. So we are not that badly off. And when we take the Oceania region, then we get for the DV Lottery 2025, as up to now, we have 306 total cases. That is the ready plus the interviewed. And we have for DV Lottery 2024 at the same time was 252. And for the DV Lottery 2023 at the same time, it was 240. So you can see there is an increment. And lastly, we have the South America region. For the DV Lottery 2025, it is 523. And for the DV Lottery 2024 at the same time, it was 588. And for DV Lottery 2023 at the same time, it was 491. So you see there is a balance there. So generally speaking, the interview progress is okay. It's normal, especially since we are in the first months of the DV Lottery fiscal year. Remember that as the year progresses, especially when we approach the middle of the year, embassies tend to increase their scheduled cases. They tend to increase the number of interviews in their respective embassies. Therefore, since we are just in the first months, we expect towards the middle of the year or towards the end of the year an increase in the number of interviews being scheduled. So generally speaking, if you compare those 3 years, we are doing fine. There is nothing that has decreased in terms of pace. Now, let me conclude this video by saying this, but remember, the next video that is coming will tackle specific embassies because I've received questions of individuals requesting of the information or discussion about their specific embassies. That will come in the next video where I'll pick some few embassies and we shall discuss on that. And then later on, the video that will follow, I want to answer all those people that were asking of how and when to do a transfer. How and when to do your DV Lottery interview transfer from your embassy because your embassy is failing you. So subscribe if you have not, put the notification bell on so that you get notified when I put this video. Now let's come to some few embassies. I'll just take about 4 embassies from the different regions and see how it goes. If we take Ankara in the EU region, that is in Turkey, and that is an important embassy, we see the scheduled cases, mark the word scheduled cases, as of today is 453. That is to mean people that have their second notification letters is 453 for DV Lottery 2025. For DV Lottery 2024, at the same time, they had 532 scheduled interviews, people with 2NL. And in DV Lottery 2023, they were at 477, people with 2NL at the same time. If we take Nairobi, now this becomes different because people with second notification letter as of now is 319. Last year at the same time they were 996. You see that difference? And DV Lottery 2023 they were at 177. But for Nairobi, remember that there is a tendency to increase pace towards the middle of the year. So this is not something to worry about. They are likely to take pace, to take speed. So for the Kathmandu in Asia region, then we see as of now, there are 595 2NLs, people with 2NLs. Last year, as of now, at the same time, they had 704 2NLs, that is scheduled interviews. And in DV Lottery 2023, they had 693. So you can see some discrepancies there. And when we come to the Oceania region, let us take the good example of Silver Embassy. Silver Embassy in Fiji, this DV Lottery 2025, they have 175 scheduled interviews as of now. Last year at the same time, they had 272 scheduled interviews, people with 2NL, and 175 for DV Lottery 2023 as at the same time. So we can see these are people with 2NLs, and we can see some differences there. But generally speaking, it's not that bad. So let me end this video at this point because it might become so lengthy. But the next video, as I have promised you, we're going to go embassy by embassy, even if we will not be able to cover all of them, but I'll try to get at least a majority of them, especially those prominent ones plus others, and see how they perform. We shall see the highest case number they have scheduled for the interview and also the highest case number they have interviewed, and also how the performance is and how risky are you in that specific embassy, or how safe are you in that embassy. And if we find out that you are risking your chances in that specific embassy, then I shall tell you in the following video what you're supposed to do for you to transfer your case from that to a better embassy. So much more is coming. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a like, and let's meet in the next video.